Hope you're having a great day, Dr. Bonner. This is family interview number 2. This is the analysis for that interview. I was privileged to be able to interview the Cox family, mom and dad. Both the children are at school right now, so I was able to interview both mom and dad and spend a few minutes with them. The family interview is posted on YouTube, which you'll receive a link for. It's only 20 minutes long. It's not quite as long as the first interview, but I thought it was a good interview. I've taken down some notes from my interview with them, and here's my analysis. You know, the Cox family is, as I said in an interview, a real blessing to our church family here. They're a good family. Some of the things that I noticed throughout our interview is when I asked them about their concerns, they obviously had some concerns that every parent has. You know, they talked about influences of the media and being able to keep their children in church and stay faithful, and involvement with good friends, and also the mother, Miss Lori, had just national concerns, worldwide concerns. But what I noticed throughout the interview with them is, and that I've noticed with the Coxes for a good bit now, is I don't know how close knit they are in their relationships, and we talk a little bit about that later. And every family is wired differently to interact differently together. So I might be off key with my assumption, but just noticing just within their interview how dad sat, not as close to mom. There was quite a separation between them, and so just some of the things that I noticed. But those were their main concerns, as I stated earlier. Influences, staying in the church, national concerns, and involvement, making sure their kids stay involved with good friends. To ask them about their family relationships on a scale of 1 to 5, how healthy were their relationships? 1 not so healthy, and 5 being very healthy, and they both said a 4. They both said they have good relationships. They spend a good deal amount of time together, hobbies, and also at home. I just met with them, say, a month ago, and talked with them about this very same thing, about spending time together, and asked them how many times they had dinner together a week, and they didn't have dinner together a whole lot, and they started implementing that, and they said that's really helped out a whole lot, and being able to sit down at the dinner table and eat dinner together, and they spoke about that, and that was good. They did talk about that they need to improve on communication. They need to improve on being able to communicate with each other a whole lot better. They talked about their greatest needs being spiritual growth, being able to, as a family, grow closer to God together, and being able to lead their daughter Kendall, who is not baptized yet, to a point where she can be a follower of Christ. They are tackling also the potential of having to deal with aging parents. Both Mr. Jim and Miss Lori have parents who are getting older, and their health is declining, and so they're going to be dealing with a new role of caretakers, and so that was one of their needs. They've also indirectly expressed, just like the Thompson family from interview 1, the need to be able to, I guess, handle time better. They like most families are over busy, over scheduled, and find themselves in a disarray and trying to prioritize and fit things in and leave things out of schedules, and so they sense some frustration with that as far as their needs. I asked them how the church can be a resource for them in parenting. They said to continue to offer opportunities to serve and to grow for the family, and that's something that we're striving for, obviously. They talked about possibly the church being able to mentor families and teenagers who are coming into the youth group, into our youth ministry, or any other level of our ministries, so they can be mentored and encouraged and taught about that particular ministry, in this case the youth ministry, by maybe an older teenager, a more veteran family, if you will, that's been in the youth ministry longer, that can help that family transition in. That's what they said about the church being a resource. Then we talked about family spiritual goals. That was my last question, is what was their family's spiritual goals, and how were they going to obtain them, achieve them? Number one, Mr. Jim said the family goal is to get closer to God, in their relationship with God, and for their daughter to be saved. They both mentioned. Miss Lori said for all of them to grow in Christ, to get to know the Lord more, and to instill a faith that sticks, that is strong no matter what. And they spoke about implementing some family spiritual goals and actually writing them out, some measurable, achievable goals that they can all work towards, which I thought was great for them to mention. Anyway, that is my analysis of family interview number 2 with the Cox family. Blessings to you, Dr. Bonner. This semester has been great. Can't tell you how good it's been. It's been a blessing to me. Anyway, I've got a retreat that I got to get ready for, to head out in just a couple hours, so I got a lot to wrap up. Anyway, take care and God bless.